Hello, my ducklings, and welcome back to Airs and Graces. I was looking at the stuff last time, and apparently the music is much quieter than I originally thought. So I'm just going to turn that up just a smidge, and we're going to return. So last time, I believe we got through the first or second week. I'm not really sure, but we can load the game. We're on week 2 of 34, so you can guess approximately how long the game is. So click on this. Alright, so last time we ran into Victor, I believe. Vincent, not Victor, Vincent. My bad. I will get your name right eventually, or I'll give you a nickname and you'll just have to respond to that, Mr. Butler dude. So right now, our relationship for both Kamal and Vincent is at 5%. I don't really know who we're going to pursue yet. I've not really thought that far ahead. At this point, I don't think it really matters who you build a relationship with. I mean, I guess you can like turn it off, but I'm just maybe that's what that means. Like you turn it off and like you don't build a relationship with them. I'm not sure, but for now, I'm just going to keep everything on because if this game's any good, and I have a feeling it will be, then we can run through and we can mess with that on different playthroughs. And of course, different playthroughs tend to go a little bit faster. So, let's see. Last time, we finished out this week, and let's see, there's 7, but there's 8 tasks. Let's see, are there any that... We don't have charm shopkeepers, so let's change out shelf books. Oops, I did that wrong. For charm shopkeepers. And we'll just toggle that in and out, and we'll figure it out. This one gives us a chance to meet with the elven prince that we've not even really met yet, but we will eventually. So let's go on and start this week. Our strength is +2, which is always nice. Awareness +2, which is also always nice. +2 on tidiness. I mean, we're racking in that stuff. +2 diligence. +2 charisma. +2 management. We've not run into anyone, okay. And +2 etiquette, okay. So we didn't run into anyone, that's fine. Our strength is kind of low. I mean, everything's low. It is just kind of starting out. So we'll keep that in there. I kind of like to change these out. So that way the other things still have, so we have gardening and charm shopkeepers. And we have, and we have take inventory. So these 3 are really our meeting with guys kind of things. So let's change one of them out. Oh, well, I guess I put that there. Let's I don't know, man. We'll take inventory and shelf books. Perfect. That's exactly what I wanted to do. So we're not gardening this week. Sorry, Kamal. Just Kamal. +2 strength. +1 awareness, because we did a normal job on that. +1 tidiness. +2 management. +2 charisma. +2 education. And +2 etiquette. Again, we didn't have any run-ins. And, oh, okay, well, I lied. We apparently do have run-ins. I head up the stairs with a tray of food in my hands. Today's menu is a simple tomato soup with a roll on the side. You were lying. That is a big old hunk of bread and a pitcher of what is probably water. But that's alright, because you're cute, so I'll forgive you. It's not exactly what I'd be eating if I had a near limitless fortune, but I suppose Lord Sander can eat whatever he wants. When I reach the last step, I stop and take a deep breath. This will be my first time meeting him, and I don't know if I'm ready. It's not like I'll be talking to him or anything, though. All I have to do is deliver his meal and then leave. That's it. I work myself through the steps and then summon up the courage to proceed. And then we meet someone. And this is the doctor dude. I reach for the doorknob. As the door swings open, it hits my hand, which in turn bumps the tray, jarring it slightly as the man exits the room. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't expect anyone to be there. I pay him little mind and look over the tray, making sure everything is still in its place. Miraculously, the hit wasn't enough to send the soup sprawling over the side of the bowl. I let out a sigh of relief. It's okay. Are you sure? I didn't hurt you or anything, did I? No harm done, I promise. No harm done yet. But, sorry, I'm gonna be good. I'm gonna be good. Oh, thank goodness. Now that I'm calmer, I take a second to look the man over properly. He has a kind face that looks honestly relieved that he didn't inflict any harm. I haven't seen him around the mansion before. Considering the small number of servants that Lord Sander actually employs, I think I would recognize him if he was just another servant. It's the leather medical bag he holds at his side that gives me the clue I need to piece it together. I don't see it, but I'll take your word for it. You're a doctor. Yes, that's right. I go quiet, mulling over the implications. If a doctor is here, Lord Sander is ill? The doctor frowns, a pitying expression clear on his face. No one told you? No. My answer seems to come from someone who isn't me. It echoes in my brain, and an unreal floating sensation flows through my body. I'm not quite sure what to do with this new information. I try to shake it, telling myself I shouldn't care. He deserves it. Are you okay? I look up at the doctor, coming back to the present moment. Yeah, sorry. I should get this meal to him. Yes, I've held you up. I'm sorry. Don't worry about it. Let's just call it even. What do you mean? Well, I held you up too. I see. And he smiles. A nice triangular smile. Which is, in my opinion, the best kind of, I don't know what I'm saying anymore. I'm sorry. He smiles, and I'm a bit taken aback by how genuine it seems. Alright, we're even then. If I'm not imposing too much, can I ask your name? Only if I can ask yours. My name is... And I said last time that when the time came, I would figure out how I'm going to pronounce his name. You know what? Maybe Google can tell us how to pronounce that. And I am willing to be that person who will Google pronunciations. So Borges and Google, I'm gonna need help. Pronunciation. Come on, Google, you can do this. Someone has to. Come on, tell me.
Heirs Borges.
Borges. Okay.
Heirs Borges.
Okay, his name is Borges. Apparently, according to what I saw, his name is Borges, which was not one of my guesses. I don't know if I'm actually going to call him... I guess I should, but it makes me want to call him Barkus, and okay. But I'm going to call him Borges. My name is Borges. Which sounds like gorgeous. I don't know, man. I'm sorry. Mine is Marcel. It's a pleasure to meet you, Doctor. The pleasure is mine, Marcel. I hope that the next time we meet it will be under more favorable conditions. He gives me a small bow and then takes his leave. I watch him go until he reaches the stairs and then decide I've wasted enough time. open the door to Lord Sanders' room and head in. You sure took your dear sweet time. Apologies, your lordship. It won't happen again. It better not. I don't pay people to make me wait. Before he can finish his sentence, he breaks into a fit of coughs. In a hurry, I set the tray down on the nightstand and go to his side. I may not be on the best terms with him, but I'm not about to leave a helpless person. That said, I'm not exactly sure what I can do for him. I bite my lip, weighing the options before realizing the obvious one. I'm going to get the doctor. I turn to go when Lord Sander reaches out and grabs my wrist. Don't. He closes his eyes and lets out another horrible series of coughs. I try to pull away, but he tightens his grip and repeats the order. I said don't. I go limp and his grip loosens in turn, however he doesn't let go. I try to use a gentle tone as I switch to a more diplomatic tactic. He can help. If you just let me go get him, he's useless. They're all useless. He takes a strained breath. I'm in enough pain as is. I don't need him poking around and finding more things to try and fix. Just stay put. It'll pass. The coughing grows worse, and beads of sweat form on his brow as he gasps for air. I bite my lip and avert my gaze. I don't want to watch this. I want to chase after Doctor, and bring him back here so he can deal with it instead of me. But Lord Sander has made it clear that's not what he wants. Still, standing here doing nothing feels wrong. Each cough grates on my psyche, but like he said it would, it does eventually pass. When it's finally over, he leans back on his bed, completely drained. He turns his head towards me and uses a raspy voice to address me. You're new, aren't you? I don't think I recognize you. That's right. Come here. I avoid making eye contact as I take a reluctant step towards him. I know he's never met me before, but I still have the unreasonable fear that he'll recognize me if I get too close. Well, y'all do have very similar noses, and very similar frowns, and very similar narrow eyes, and very similar eyebrows. I think. Eyes on me when I'm talking to you. That's basic knowledge. Surely Vincent gave you the lecture. I blush brightly in embarrassment and force my eyes to meet his. For a brief second, his eyes go wide. He shakes it off quickly and resumes his previous composed expression. However, he lets a solid minute pass before finally speaking again. Did she send you here? What? Did your mother send you here to confront me? I don't know what... He raises his voice, drowning out mine as he shouts, Don't lie to me! And I'm not actually screaming because I have a kid brother sleeping in the next room and he would come running in here, Sissy, I didn't lie, I promise. So I ain't shouting. Y'all get the gist. Did you think I was stupid? Did you think I wouldn't figure it out? You look exactly like Mara. You look exactly like your mom. How could I not know? He figured it out. He figured it out so easily. My head reels as I try to come up with a convincing lie, but I can't. The only thing my brain is able to focus on is the fact that I've been discovered. I didn't want him to know, I really didn't, but now that the information is out there, I can't stop myself from coming to my mother's defense. My mom didn't send me. She doesn't even know I'm here. She doesn't want anything to do with you ever again. And who could blame her after what you put her through? You don't have the first clue about what she had to do to get by after you left her. I'm the only one who couldn't let it go. A silence settles between us and I take the moment to take a deep breath. I need to calm down. I need to think clearly. Lord Sander lowers his voice. There's no more anger in it, just cold observation. So I was right. You are my son. I pale slightly. I guess there really is no hiding it now. You have no right to call me your son. Not when you skipped out on the whole being a father part. Fair enough. Let's hear a name so I can stop calling you son then. What did she end up calling you? I bite my lip, debating whether or not I should tell him. I guess it doesn't make a difference. Marcel. That's cute. You're damn right it's cute. You have a problem with that? A name like Marcel can get all the hunky men. Or girls, or whatever our preference is. I feel my cheeks grow hot, and though I can't see my own face, I'm sure it's red. He's making me angry, and I think it's intentional. I shouldn't have told him my name. I shouldn't have even come here. What did I honestly expect from him? Instead of giving him a verbal reply, I turn to leave. Wait. I ignore him and keep heading for the door. I said wait. Marcel, please. I put my hand on the doorknob and stop. I don't have to listen to him, despite what he may think. All I have to do is open this door and leave. I've sated my curiosity. There's no doubt in my mind that he is as horrible as my mother made him out to be, so what's keeping me here now? I try to get my body to move, but for some reason, I can't seem to bring myself to complete that one last step. Instead, I ask, why? I want to talk to you. Well, I don't want to talk to you. Then listen, I promise it'll be worth your time. Against my better judgment, I let go of the doorknob and turn back towards him. I stay next to the door, but I do give him a chance to speak. How is she? That's none of your business. You lost the right to know when you left her. He sighs. You love your mother, right? You'd take an opportunity to make life easier for the two of you, yes? I cross my arms. The answer should be obvious. Knowing that he at least has my attention, he continues. As it turns out, I don't have an heir. I didn't come here for your money. That would be a first. And he smiles. He says it with a wry chuckle that turns into another cough. Anyway, who am I to judge? That might be why you're here, and it might not. It doesn't matter. But surely you understand the value of money. If your life really has been as hard as you've suggested, then you have to know. I'm not proud of it, but he's right about that. When you talk to most people, they'll say things like, love are more important than money. They're not. You learn that when you're starving because you can't afford anything to eat. I half wish I could have retained the delusion that lets people think otherwise, but I've been jaded for a long time now. I do. Good, I'm glad we've settled that. What do I have to do? Just prove to me that you can handle the position. If you can do that, I'll name you my heir. Heir? He can't be serious. No, don't think about that. It's not that easy. It's never that easy. Don't get ahead of yourself. Keep a level head. And what exactly do I need to do to prove that? Keep up your work as a servant. Listen, observe, and learn from everyone around you. Understand how everything in this mansion works from both a servant's perspective and a lord's. Do that and my entire fortune will go to you. And how do I know you'll keep to that? You didn't exactly stay with my mother when you said you loved her. How can you expect me to believe anything you say? He lets out an annoyed groan. Again with your mother. Yeah, sons tend to, when you're come from a single parent household, you tend to be just a touch protective of them. Still, I guess I should be grateful you didn't turn out totally daft. Look at it this way. Even if I don't name you as my sole heir, you still have an honest job with steady pay as long as you work as one of my servants. On top of that, you don't have to spend money on a place to stay, and you have access to my library, among other things. You can use this as a chance to learn skills that might help you get another job in the future. And I'm sorry guys, but it's a lot of reading and I need a... Oh, that is so wonderful. Oh, that's so wonderful. Yeah, help you get another job in the future. The only downside is that you have to deal with me. That's a bigger downside than you might think it is. Maybe, but is it big enough to make you reject my offer? I'd like to say that it is, but I force myself to swallow my pride. It is a good offer, and if he is being honest, then it'd be wonderful if I could give my mother a future where she doesn't have to work. She's done enough of that to last a lifetime. No, it isn't. I'll stay, at least for a bit longer. Alright, it's a deal then. You convince me you're able to take my place when I die, and I'll name you my heir. He extended his hand, intending to seal the deal with a handshake. I sigh and then head over to his side. I take his hand into mine and shake it. He nods approvingly and then lets go. We're done now. I have some lukewarm soup to get to, so it is time for you to take your leave. Right. I turn and head back for the door. Oh, and Marcel. Yes? Send Vincent up. I need to speak with him. Don't worry. Our deal will remain between us. I don't want him or the others granting you any special favors. I nod and finally push the door open before heading back towards the kitchen to find Vincent. Alright, we did that. I am going to save, and I'm actually going to save in this empty slot because I like to have it where just in case something messes up, I don't have to start completely fresh trying to find it. I can just kind of do it by video. So we got that. Let's do another week. Let's see, what is kind of lacking? Our education's lacking, but a lot of these are going to be lacking for a while, I imagine. Our tidiness is still kind of low. So let's clear all of it. So let's haul and haul. We'll clean and clean. We will attend guests and write letters, and let's just let's see. Education's pretty low. Diligence is pretty... I mean, they're all pretty low. Let's shelve books, because I like books. Books are nice. Of course, I also, like the chance to run into Kamal, at the garden, because I don't hate that for a single second. +2 strength. +1 tidiness. +2 strength. Okay, the three of us. I like where this is going. I like having all three of these attractive guys. Yeah, anyway, sorry, my brain. Kamal and I stand side by side in the library as Vincent places a stack of books down on the nearest table. We intend to do this part by ourselves, but when we told Vincent our plans to improve the garden, he insisted on helping us get set up. I picked out a few books I thought might be helpful. I figured encyclopedias on plants would be best for what you two are planning. However, if you do happen to need more specific information, you should be able to find what you need on this shelf over here. He steps over to the indicated shelf and gestures towards the general section, giving us a very clear idea where the extra resources are located. Anyway, I think that's all I needed to go over. Did you need anything else to get you started on your project? You've already done more than enough. Thanks, Vincent. Vincent nods. Well, then I wish you good luck. I'm looking forward to seeing your results. You could stay and help us pick something out. Vincent shakes his head. I'm afraid I really can't spare more time than I already have. Besides, I trust that you two will be able to come up with something more than satisfactory without my assistance. Now, if that's all, I better get going. Yeah, that's it. Vincent gives us a small bow and then leaves us on our own. I really do like all of the backgrounds that we've seen. It's I like the art style. The backgrounds are very nice, but even the characters, like, it's not... How do I want to say it? It's different, but it's not awkward different. I don't know. I'm not going to try to explain myself. I'm just going to keep on going. Once I'm sure Vincent is gone, I go ahead and speak up. I would have been surprised if he actually did join us. Kamal chuckles. Yeah, me too. And yet you asked anyway. Well, I think he likes being asked, even if he never accepts. Oh, Kamal, you softy. Oh, okay, I'm good. Of course, that could just be me making assumptions. I see. You're actually a thoughtful guy. You think so? I do. I'm not so sure. Vincent is kind of a special case. If I don't worry about him, I'm not sure anyone else will, so I kind of make it a point to. Oh, Kamal. I'm on team Kamal being happy. I don't care who he's happy with, I just want him happy. But with the others, well, I don't feel like I need to bother. If they get overwhelmed, they just quit, and that happens so often that there's not much point in counting on anyone other than Vincent staying for a long time. I shift uncomfortably. It was just a simple comment, but it honestly stings a little. If only Vincent is special, then that means that I'm part of the group that's not worth worrying about. That realization shouldn't be surprising considering that I haven't spent an especially significant amount of time with Kamal yet, but it kind of is. I guess in my arrogance, I thought that I already ranked a little higher than most people with Kamal. I'd like to argue with him and say that I'm different from the rest of them and that he can count on me sticking around as well, but that's not really true. I mean, I didn't start working here with the intention to stay long. I probably do deserve to be in that second category. I know I should just suffer the comment silently, but I can't help but feel a little petty. I try to bring it up as a joke, but a little more honesty seeps into my tone than I would have liked. So you don't bother worrying about me, huh? Kamal smiles. Nope. He might as well have just punched me. Then again, a punch from Kamal would probably hurt worse than his biting comment. He is an ex-gladiator, after all. That comes up a lot. The fact that he's an ex-gladiator. That was blunt. Kamal sets his hand on the top of my head and ruffles my hair. Hey! Don't look so dejected. It's not what you think. I'm not worried about you because I don't need to be. You're the type of person that'll sort most things out on your own, and if you do happen to need help, you'll ask for it when you get desperate enough, unlike Vincent. You seem pretty confident of that, despite the fact that you haven't known me for that long. I'm fairly good at reading people. I had to when I was in the arena. Besides, you haven't given me a reason to think otherwise yet. Until then, I plan on working with that assumption. So no, I'm not worried about you. Alright, I guess I can accept that. Marcel, I don't think you have a choice. I'm a little flattered, actually. It's not a bad thing to be seen as self-reliant. Still, it'd be nice if you worried a little. Just a little. But that's beside the point. We've got work to do. Right, well, we should get started. We've wasted enough time already. Kamal nods and heads over to the table where Vincent placed his stack of recommended books. He pulls out a chair for me and waits for me to take a seat before taking the seat across from me. I pick up the first book and get started, flipping it open to the first page. So just keep looking until we see a picture we like? That's what I was gonna do. I nod and then turn my attention back to the book. I flip through a few pages and try to imagine how each flower will look in the garden. Flowers aren't exactly my thing, but there are a few neat ones to choose from. I notice that I tend to like the ones with sharper looking spade-like petals over the ones with softer, rounder petals. Of course, the ones I like probably give off a less welcome feel than the other ones. It might be better to go with the softer looking ones. Or that could be stupid and I could be overthinking this. I turn the page and try not to worry about it. There's still a good chunk of the book to sift through before coming to a decision. Maybe I'll find a good compromise. How about this one? I look up from my book and look at the picture Kamal is showing me. It's a badass looking flower with thorns and many long blade-like petals bursting from the center. Unfortunately, it's a yellow-green color, leaning more on the green side. Way more on the green side. It wouldn't exactly stand out and thus wouldn't solve my complaint about the garden looking a little plain. I'm actually a bit impressed that of all the flowers he could have chosen, Kamal managed to pick out a green one. I mean, it's not exactly a common flower color, is it? It's nice, but how do I put this gently? Kamal likes being straightforward anyway. It's green. Kamal frowns and turns the book back towards him, giving the picture another look. Not red then? Nope, not red. Ah. Well, maybe it comes in red. Did you read the description? Maybe we can still make it work. Kamal takes a minute to scan the contents of the page and then lets me know his findings. No, just the color pictured. Sorry. Don't apologize, it's not a big deal. And for the record, it is a really cool flower. Maybe we can consider including some once the garden is a bit more colorful. Yeah. Kamal scratches his head. I get the feeling he's a little embarrassed. I smile, maybe I'm being insensitive, but I think the reaction is cute. You know, maybe green is your favorite color. Kamal smiles. Maybe. Anyway, I should probably get back to picking out more green flowers now. I flash him a small smile and respond to the joke. I'm counting on you. Kamal nods and turns his attention back to his book. I take a moment to stretch and then get back to mine as well. After a bit of searching, I find one that I really like. It's a blue star-shaped flower with black edges. To make its design even more interesting, it has small white specks decorating each petal, making it look a bit like a night sky. I look at the description, hoping that there isn't anything that might prevent us from planting it. Let's see. Though most commonly appearing as pictured with a blue base color to it, the darkling star occasionally comes in purple and red variants. Kind of a weird name. I guess it doesn't matter. I bet the red and purple ones are pretty too. I skim a little more of the paragraph. A little lower down, the text mentions that the darkling star is associated with bitterness in flower language. That's probably not a feeling you'd want to express towards any guest you might invite to your gardens. I'm debating whether or not I care when Kamal pokes his head over the top of his book. See something interesting? I like this one, but I don't know. Kamal gets up from his seat and positions himself behind me to look over my shoulder. It's pretty. It is, but it means bitterness. So I'm thinking it wouldn't send the right message to guests. Actually, I imagine that's exactly the message Lord Sander would like to send. Maybe, but that doesn't mean that he should send it. Fair enough. Still, I don't think it's a big deal. If you like them, then we should plant them. You really think so? I do. I'm still not as sure as he is. In any case, I'll look over the rest of the information to see if there are any other further complications. Long story short, there are. I think we should pass after all. Why? They're pretty, but they have pretty specific shade requirements and apparently like to actively kill other plants nearby. See, that's the kind of flower that I would be okay with. Sorry, I have to move this because it's crushing my legs. Okay. I would like those flowers. Ah, well, that is troublesome. Let's just work on something easier for now. I'm a little disappointed. I really like them. Oh well, life is cruel. I should have that lesson down by now. If you're sure. I nod and turn the page. Kamal stays put and we look at them together instead of separately. After about an hour, we've narrowed it down to a couple of candidates. One is a puffy white flower. It looks a little goofy, but it's kind of fun. Definitely a welcoming sort of flower. The other is a delicate red one that would add an air of refinement to the garden. Both of them are apparently pretty easy to maintain, so it all comes down to what kind of aura we'd like to give the garden. So what do you think? Which one should we start with? I think you should pick. This was your idea. Right, well, I guess I like... Okay, so... I already know which one he likes because me and my friend did get to this point. Not that I'm necessarily trying to pursue him. I'm also not trying to not pursue him. But last time I chose the puffy white flower. And my reasoning for this is, which is thinking too hard and I know that, but he's red-green colorblind. So I didn't want to choose a red flower that he couldn't tell the difference of. So again, I'm just going to go with a puffy white flower. That way he at least can see. And the relationship went up. Because he also likes that one, apparently. Kamal smiles. That's one I liked best, too. You could have said you had a preference, you know. It was only a slight preference. The other one would have looked good, too. I just like the light feeling these ones have to them. It's less formal. I know what you mean. That's kind of why I liked them, too. I like working in the garden because it has a peaceful and laid-back feel to it. Even if we're dressing it up a bit by adding flowers, I would like to keep that aspect of it intact if I can. Kamal looks me over, not bothering to say anything. I blush a bit as I grow self-conscious. Did I say something weird? no. I was just thinking that you and I have similar feelings towards the garden, that's all. Ah, I see. Not really sure how else to respond, and Kamal has gone quiet. I sit there awkwardly for a moment before deciding to change the subject. I shut the book and place it back on the pile. Well, we've made our decision. Now we'll just have to see about getting the seeds. It shouldn't be a problem. We picked one that was fairly easy to get, even if the merchants don't have it on hand. I should be able to ask them to acquire some. Right, so that's the plan then. The next time we both have some free time, let's go see if we can buy them. Agreed? Agreed. I get up from my chair and look over the pile of books. If we're done with them, we should put them back in their proper places. Are we done with the books for now? Don't worry about it. I'll put them back. I'll help. You're more likely to get in the way considering they should all be in roughly the same spot. Deal with it. I'm not leaving you to do it by yourself. Kamal smiles. All right, boss, if you insist. That's undisputed king of Aravon, Marcel, the highly esteemed to you. There's no way I'll remember that. Babe, I've already forgotten it. Then make up something just as epic. I grab half the stack and head over to the shelf. Kamal grabs his half and then joins me. Okay, we did that. So, I'm pretty sure, like, it's just a randomly generated when you're gonna meet up with someone. I think. I think that's it, because we didn't choose gardening and we just still kind of met up with them. So I think it's just whoever you happen to. It's almost like on a, not a timer, but certain point of a week you run into them. I think. So, and we've yet to meet Eloy. I still don't know how to pronounce his name. We did meet, the doctor over there. We did meet the doctor. But we've not really had much of a chance with him. So I'm just going to kind of keep this as it is. Just because, you know. Ooh, our strength and our reputation went up. That's good. Our tidiness and our reputation went up. Our strength went up by 2. That's good. Our tidiness went up by 1. And our reputation. I don't even see where our reputation is. That? I don't know. But reputation keeps going up. Is that just like a general, like, do we not get to see that? The sun is high in the sky by the time I finish helping Kamal in the garden and head inside. I wipe the sweat off my brow and am immediately ambushed by Vincent. He looks a bit annoyed, though. It's hard to say for certain, since he's generally good at hiding his emotions. I just hope it's not me that he's annoyed with. Ah, Marcel, there you are. Did you need something? We have a guest. Lord Sander is planning to hold a proper dinner in the dining hall for the occasion. Has requested that you be there to wait on them. He says it'll be good experience for you, and I quite agree. Right, I guess it would be as long as I don't screw it up. I haven't been working here that long, though, and trusting me with a task this important so soon doesn't seem like the greatest idea to me. Then again, I have to start sometime, right? It might as well be now. And if it's just serving food, I can probably manage just fine as long as I keep my mouth shut. I've just got to keep a positive attitude about this. Alright. Vincent shifts uncomfortably before speaking his mind. I would highly recommend taking a bath beforehand. Oh, that makes me sad. We were so close to being good enough. Oh, I'm sorry, Vincent. We failed you. I understand that working in the garden is a dirty job, but if you appear in front of Lord Sander and Lord Chiron in such a state, you will humiliate the whole household. Also, I would appreciate it if you scrape the mud off your boots before heading inside from now on. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Our reputation went down. I whirl around and look at the tiles I just stepped on. Sure enough, there are muddy footprints up to where I'm standing. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I blushed brightly, wondering how I had forgotten something as simple as that. I'll clean it up. Never mind that, I'll deal with it myself. I'm sorry, Vincent. I'm sorry, babe. I'm so sorry. You just focus on getting cleaned up for tonight. I'm sorry, Vincent. That time it wasn't me apologizing, it was actually Marcel, so yeah. Please take more care in the future. Right. Anyway, just go do that and then meet me in the kitchen. I'll run you through everything and give you some pointers. And I'm gonna save because saving is a good thing to do. It's something that I highly recommend doing multiple times. Yeah. Anyway, just I'll run you through pointers, yeah. And Marcel, yes? Don't worry too much. You won't be the only one there, so if you do mess up, there will be others to try and cover for you. Thanks, Vincent. I appreciate it. He nods. I dismiss myself and go get cleaned up. When I'm done, I head back to the kitchen as Vincent had requested. We got a couple of female people with us helping us out. The cook is not hovering, hovering over a pot of boiling water as a couple of female servants peel potatoes and chop vegetables. Vincent gives them a couple of orders and then heads over to where I am. He reaches out and adjusts my shirt collar before circling around me like a vulture and correcting some of the more nitpicky details. When he is finally satisfied, he stops in front of me. That should do it. How are you feeling about this? I blink, going over the question once more. I didn't exactly expect Vincent to be concerned about my mental state going into this. Then again, he might just be overly concerned about the possibility of me screwing this up. Fine, I think. Good, I was really nervous the first time I was asked to do something like this. That's another unexpected response. He seems like an actual person for a brief second, then he straightens up and resumes the professional butler act. You were so cute, anyways, I'm sorry, it's just he's so cute, and I think that I have a thing for guys with glasses. I don't know why. I have no idea. I guess you'll be tending, the guest, not I guess, the guest you'll be tending to is a highborn elf from Grand Tree named Sharon. You will be addressing him as Lord Sharon. An elf, huh? Never had a good chance to actually meet an elf, especially an important one. I have to admit, I'm a little interested. I've always imagined them as intelligent and dignified people. He is quite enthralled with himself and likes to provoke servants. That is about as nicely as I can phrase it. Those words do not leave this room. Understood? I nod in response, and there go my intelligent and dignified elf fantasies. I should have known better. Do not let him get under your skin and give him as little as possible to work with. I highly recommend keeping interactions with him to a minimum. He is serious in the face. I get the feeling that this Lord Sharon is the reason Vincent looked so cross earlier today. That being said, he tends to be a bit more lenient than other nobles if you make a mistake, which is probably why Lord Sander is starting you off with him. I should also probably mention that, unlike most of our guests, Lord Sander actually likes Lord Sharon, which is just another reason to keep yourself in check around him. Now, I think that's all I have to say about Lord Sharon. You'll get a better idea of his character once you've actually met him. If you don't have any questions, I'd like to move on. I'm good. You can continue. And I need to take another sip because, like I said, it's a lot of reading, Sorry. I'm good. You can continue. Vincent starts going over what I'll have to do as a server. He's thorough as always, and even though I'd have been able to figure out most of the subtleties to the job on my own, it is helpful. Once he's given me the full lecture, he has me help with a few minor kitchen chores before it's time for dinner. Vincent leads for a few moments to collect Lord Sander and Lord Sharon. I, on the other hand, try to focus on the task ahead and not on the various scents of high-class food I can't actually eat. It's not an easy task, but luckily Vincent doesn't take too long to return. and we're back with the jug of water and bread. Lord Sander and Lord Chiron are seated. The next thing to do is fill their glasses and then bring out the appetizers. I'm pretty sure he says this more for my sake than the others, seeing as the female servants already had the first set of dishes in their hands. Not kick. The cook picks up tonight's selected bottle of wine and hands it to me. This isn't a surprise. Vincent already told me that he was going to put me in charge of drinks. I head for the door and Vincent gives me a small nod. I take a deep breath and then push the door open to get to the dining room. And there's our, not prince, but our elven highborn person with the long flowy hair. Vincent told me to serve the guests first, so I head towards Lord Chiron. He's handsome and well-dressed. He looks to be about my age, but he is an elf, so he could be much, much older for all I know. I avoid making eye contact as I go to his side. I swear I can feel his eyes on me as I pour the wine into his glass. When I finish, I step back and move on to Lord Sander. I notice he still looks pale. I don't think he's gotten any better since I last saw him. You know, your butler is the only servant I recognize from the last time I was here. Most of them have moved on. Kamal is still here, though. Ah, the ex-gladiator, right. Is that really all he is? He is more than an ex-gladiator. He is a scary-faced sweetheart beefcake slice of man. Don't objectify him with the term ex-gladiator. And for y'all rolling y'alls, that was a joke. That was clearly a joke. Sort of. Half a joke. That's right. I finished pouring Lord Sander's wine and stepped back as Vincent had instructed. So far, so good. I just have to keep this up until the dinner is over. Maybe you should put more servants from the arena. They just might be the only ones tough enough to endure your reign of terror. My eyes go wide. That is not something you should say to a lord. Still, instead of being insulted, Lord Sander smiles. Probably. That doesn't explain Vincent, though. Nothing explains Vincent. The door to the kitchen swings open and the female servants come in with their dishes. They reach the table and set them down with an admirable amount of grace. Lord Chiron beckons the one nearest him closer. She goes to his side and leans over as he whispers something in her ear. When he finishes, the servant blushes a bright red, and you can tell from her eyes that they are wide. Eloy. After letting out a tired sigh, he turns his attention to the girl. Ignore him and get back to the kitchen. The female servant gives him a quick bow and scurries off. I guess that's what Vincent meant when he said Lord Chiron likes to provoke servants. Sorry, I just can't help myself. She was cute, so I had to tell her. She's a servant. Even if that's what you really think, you have no future with her. Don't give her a reason to think otherwise. That's rich coming from him. I bite my lip and try to tone out the conversation. If I let Lord Sander get me any angrier, it will start to show. The female servants come and go, placing down new dishes and taking away old ones. Lord Sander has me refill his drink at one point, but other than that, I'm mostly just stuck standing there. It's pretty boring, but it is easy. I notice Lord Chiron's cup is almost empty and head over. He strikes up another conversation in a surprisingly earnest tone. I'm just going to come out and say it. You look awful. Not as awful as you. I'm being serious. Your health isn't a joke. You've seen a doctor about it, right? Several. What did they say? Lord Sander takes a sip of his wine and Lord Chiron's brow creases further in concern. A silence hangs in the air for a long moment before Lord Chiron repeats the question with more force. What did they say? It's terminal. I don't realize I'm pouring the wine on the table until Lord Sander speaks up. Marcel, I'm sorry. And then he runs away, and I can't be upset about that or think it's pathetic because I am also prone to running away when running away becomes a viable option. I place the bottle of wine upright on the table, which is better than upside down, and leave the room. I think I hear Lord Sander call after me, but I keep going. And he just scooted along. As I pass through the kitchen, Vincent catches my arm. What happened? I open my mouth, but nothing comes out. I'm not sure what I was trying to say. Anyway, so I guess that it doesn't matter. Vincent sighs and pats me on the shoulder. I must look awful if he thinks he needs to comfort me as if I'm a child. I'll go see what I can do to fix things. He heads into the dining hall. The cook and the two female servants stare at me. I can't exactly blame them, but I don't want to be a spectacle, so I leave the kitchen. I let my feet do the deciding and end up in the garden. The stars are out now and the air is cool. I close my eyes and try to process. I'd known he was sick. I just didn't think it was that bad. I should have noticed. I mean, he had had that coughing fit right in front of me. How could I have not noticed? I guess that I was too occupied with my own feelings. I didn't want to try to sympathize with him. I just wanted to hate him. I pressed my hands to my head, clutching at my hair, and let out a frustrated shout. Why do I even care? My brain corrects itself automatically to I don't care. That's right, I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. I have a feeling that Marcel might care just a little bit. I repeat that thought over and over, but the more I think it, the more I realize it's not as true as I would like it to be. I head over to the nearest planter and kick it in frustration, a move I instantly regret since all I get from it is an aching set of toes. And Kamal does not look happy. What did the plant do to you? That's right, Kamal, you defend the plants. I turn and see Kamal standing there, arms crossed. Right, running into Kamal is another thing I should have been able to guess. He practically lives in the garden after all. I turn my face away from him, hoping to hide whatever shameful emotion is etched on it. Nothing. Then don't kick it. I know. My tone has a bitter edge to it that Kamal really doesn't deserve. Kamal sighs and then leaves. I'm about to go after him and apologize when he comes back, two sturdy-looking branches in his hands. He tosses me one of them and I barely catch it in my surprise. I'm not exactly sure what he expects me to do with it. Suddenly he lunges at me. I raise the branch he gave me just in time to stop the blow. Hey! Defend yourself. He doesn't give me time to think. He sends another attack my way. I'm a little late on my timing, but still manage to knock it to the side and remain unharmed. Stop it. Kamal isn't listening. He attacks me a couple more times before I grit my teeth and go on the offense. I charge at him and swing. He blocks it easily, but I keep up my attack, relying on fast, wild attacks in the hopes that one of them will make it through. However, Kamal lives up to his ex-gladiator because, again, that's all this boy is apparently, his ex-gladiator title, and doesn't let any of them pass his defense. When my last attack hits his makeshift sword, he plunges forward, sending me backwards. I recover and go in for one last powerful strike. Kamal's eyes flash, and for a brief second I see his warrior instincts come alive. Okay, so we at least, we succeeded in this skill check, which is good. He meets my strike with incredible force, but somehow I'm able to hold my own. I lean into it, straining every muscle in an attempt to push forward. Then Kamal steps aside. Having nothing blocking my attack, I'm knocked off balance and land face first into the dirt. Ow! Sorry about that. I look up and see that he's offering me his hand. Kamal smiles at me. I didn't expect you to be an actual challenge, but that last attack had some incredible power behind it. I slap his hand away and get to my feet angrily. Why? Why the hell did you come at me like that? You look like you needed to blow off some steam. What? Well, you kicked the planter. I figured you needed to hit something. And then Kamal comes to the defense of plants everywhere. I blush brightly, thoroughly embarrassed. Kamal was worried about me and I blew up at him. I feel horrible. Then again, I'm not sure how I was supposed to figure out that he was trying to help me in the brief second I had to think before he attacked. So, do you feel any better? I hate you. But yes. Thanks, Kamal. Okay. We spend a bit more time together before I head back to my room. I flop onto my bed and crash. Figuratively, I'll deal with the consequences tomorrow. When I wake up the next day, things go on as if nothing happened. For some reason, no one seems to want to scold me. It's a bit unnerving, to be frank, but I guess it's for the best. Okay, so we did that, and it's been going for a little bit, so I'm going to go on and end it here, my ducklings, and maybe next time we will not fail people so badly. I'm so sorry, Vincent. I'm so sorry. Oh, I don't know how we got a 1% relationship with him. I mean, we only had that one encounter, but whatevs. I'm happy with anything, so I'm going to end it here, guys, and I will see you on the next video. Alright, bye-bye.